Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review Part 19C. Still on Enies lobby. This video is covering episodes 293 to 302. Yep, these episodes. And by the way, 303 I'm not going to cover at the moment. That's Boss Luffy stuff. Yep. Now, what happens in these episodes? A lot of stuff happens over the course of 10 episodes. For one thing, we have Sanji not doing a lot for the first half of this until he has one of his best lines of the series in these episodes. First, let's start with Chopper, who is in monster form. Yep, he basically got this at the end of episode 290. Yeah, he turned with monster form and defeats his opponent Fanuki really easily, like in less than a minute. And then he carries him by the head outside and then throws him almost a football length away, basically throw him outside the courthouse. Pretty much he's beaten and he doesn't recognize Frankie, and then basically he climbs the wall. Climbs basically top of the tower for some reason. Well, then we have Sanji taking on Caulifla, and they fight but he won't hit her. And then he gets sort of, dropped on the bottom of the stairs, covered in smooth stuff. Yeah, it's actually bubble stuff. We don't see what this was, and we don't explain what it was until, Nami goes up and basically says, why don't you hit her? Yeah, he says, I can't hit a woman, it's how I was raised. And he's like, no matter what, I would never kick a woman. She's like, it's maybe dumb, but it's actually quite useful. She's not going to blame him. She's not mad at him for how he was raised. Because she's like, I like the chivalrous side of you. And he has a hilarious line of, what, did she like me? He says, no, clearly not. And then he simply just sits in the stairs for a few several episodes. Still in soap mode. And then Nami goes into Caulifla's room, where apparently she decides to strip completely naked and have a bath in front of Nami. Yep, and then apparently, and all of a sudden, she also apparently left some bubbles by the front door. Yeah, her power is bubble fruit, and she makes bubbles. Yep, and her power is so lame, but useful. And then after she's like, hey, let me get this out, and of course her legs are basically going to be smooth. And then eventually Caulifla walks over and basically just does something really weird to Nami. I mean, you probably think, what, is Caulifla a lesbian when she's doing this? What, she just rubs Nami's face, her belly, her back, looks like her chest and arms, and her rear end? No, she's not a lesbian. She's just clearly creepy by making Nami so smooth, and she hates this. Yeah, and eventually she uses her Mirage tempo to kind of beat her. And then, in the middle of the fight, Chopper shows up, blowing out the freaking window. Basically, he blows the wall, and Caulifla's like, what, you're in a monster form now? And Nami's like, no, that's clearly not me. And she's like, Chopper, is that you? She recognizes about the antlers and the hat. And then he decides to pick up the bathtub, which I thought was so hilarious, and then throw it down 3 flights of stairs. And apparently part of the water got splashed Nami's legs so she would move. And this also enabled Sanji to basically unsmooth. Yeah, the bubbles were moved. And then eventually Nami used a bunch of lightning and more Mirage tempo to finally beat Caulifla. And eventually she just searches Caulifla's, basically her body, to look for the key. And then we have, now, what about Zoro? Well, he's still trapped with Sniper King and Zoro. Eventually, thanks to, Sanji being smoothed out, he's able to help out Zoro and Sniper King deal with the Wolfman. And he proceeds to beat the living crap out of him with his kicks. And then eventually, when he dare mention Nika Robin, he spins around to his leg. It's on fire. He's like, what's with that leg? And he kicks him really hard. And He kicks him like twice, and then he has one of the most best lines of the series. If you think that kick was hot, my heart was burning even hotter than that. Wow. And then of course Sanji shows up to see that Nami's being Khalifa. Good job. And actually, it's not Sanji. I think it's Frankie who shows up. I think this is quite hilarious. And it's like, oh, gotta look for that key. And then she starts shredding Khalifa's clothes, looking for the key. And Frankie's like, skin on skin action. Yeah, that's what he says. I thought it was quite funny. And eventually, Nami takes the key and goes to free Zoro and Sniper King. Frankie takes keys 1, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, doesn't take 1 yet. He takes 3, 5. He takes 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 5. Actually, he takes those 2 keys. And what about Luffy? Well, he proceeds to blow a hole in the wall. Well, that's what he did last time. And he eventually catches up. He yells out Robin's name after running for quite a while. And then he starts his fight with Rob Lucci, which lasts for a good chunk of the rest of this entire arc. Which it is not concluded by the end of this set of episodes. Nope, still fighting. Though he does turn into his Catman form. Yep, begin forming that, and Luffy goes to Gear 2. Not the Gear 3 yet, that's not happening just yet. Frankie, of course, basically gets the keys and runs off. As in the case of Zoro, well, after he gets freed, he proceeds to fight Kaku one-on-one. A fight that's going on since, like, 285. Like, oh my god, this fight's been going on for a freaking long time. It's probably by far the second longest fight of this entire arc. Yeah, Zoro versus Kaku. After many attacks, like, nothing's working. And then obviously you have basically using various forms like Sir Edge, and basic forms like a Square Man. And it's like, it's so hilarious. And then because he dare mention Nigaran by name, Zoro gets mad and then forms 9 sword style Ashura Demon God and beats Kaku that way. And of course gets his key. And of course Zoro tells him, is like, I have a message from Polly. You're all fired. He's like, fired? Huh. I kind of expected that. Yep, and that's last seen of Kaku for quite a while. Yep, Kaku is not seen again until Dressrosa. As in the case of the other people, I will get to Rob Lucci. He's not beaten yet, so. In the case of the other members, well, Caulifla herself is, well, I think she once in the cover story, and then she's never seen again in the series. As in the case of the other 2 guys, the Wolfman, the big chubby guy, and the crazy guy. Well, of these 3, none of them ever seen again. Nope, because declared fugitives from the law. Well, that's explained later. Yeah, they disappear, and they're never seen again in the series after they're beaten. Eventually, Frankie's the one who catches up with Robin, not Luffy. Frankie, after he passes by Rob Lucci. Of course, Luffy's like, your opponent, you're fighting me, not him. And eventually gets to the door, and he finally gets to Nicaragua. Though first, basically, they get to like a gate. Like, they're on the bridge of hesitation, which goes straight to the gate of justice. And the gates open completely because well, Buster Call has been ordered. Yep, a Buster Call is ordered. The thing is, when it comes to these gates, like, how are these gates even standing without a giant freaking wall? And who put these gates up? It's a question I think some people may have asked over the years, like, who built these gates? Why were they put there? When was any of these lobby ever even put there? Yeah, some of the backstory of this might have been explained in some data books, but I haven't read the One Piece data books, so I can't exactly say anything to that. And eventually, of course, Robin just hesitates. At one point, she nearly bites a freaking bridge in order to avoid going over this one gate. It's like, oh yeah, this is the gate to hell itself. No, it isn't. It's just a gate to a port. And eventually, Frank comes along and frees Robin. And then Robin does this. He does a little cross her arms, and then she proceeds to have 6 arms, 6 of her arms come on spot him, and she proceeds to slap him like crazy. Probably as payback for her beatings at his hands. Yeah, he must have been slapped like good 10, 15 times. But she's able to get free thanks, of course, to Sniper King while taking out some of the Marines, and of course, while throwing some keys along with it. Yep, with Robin freed, we're getting close to the very end. And then, boom, one cannon goes off and takes out the part of the tower low that was already cut in half anyways. Sniper King himself does survive, no problem. And apparently some of the crew except Luffy know he's actually Usopp. You know the people who do know he's Usopp is Nami, Sanji, and Zoro. These 3 know he's Usopp. So does Frankie. Frankie knows too. Only Chopper, the only people, oh yeah, and also Robin knows too. The only people who don't know is Chopper and Luffy. Those 2 do not know. And as far as I can tell, they don't really know or don't really freaking care because Sniper King does not really appear again after this arc or the following arc because Usopp basically drops it. Yep. And, well, the thing ends with Luffy and Rob Lucci still fighting. But yeah, a majority of this arc you can kind of say is mostly starting to wrap up. There's only about 9 episodes left of this arc officially. Yeah, 9 left because we have a standalone Boss Luffy episode that comes right after this one, and then finally back to this one. Yeah. But I'm trying to think, was anything else happen here? Sniper King basically, which is basically there's comic relief this one. Like him acting as a sword a lot of the time. And, well, not exactly working. And something of the wolf, who was originally Sniper King's opponent, ends getting beaten by frickin' Sanji. Now, Zoro being Kaku, that makes sense because, well, he was his original opponent. Sanji's original opponent was Caulifla until she beat him, but Nami beat her through some, basically, her special trickery. I would say Usopp was probably the only one who didn't actually beat any of his opponents. Yeah, and get this, Frankie beat 2 members of CP9. He beat Nero and Chop Up, the guy kept saying that. Yeah, Chop beat 1. Pretty much everybody got a chance to beat somebody except Usopp. Usopp is the only one who doesn't beat anybody in this arc. Yeah. But not much else to say about these episodes. They're great, and we're getting wrapped up toward the very end. In the case of basically debuts, well, there is one debut of a new character, an admiral with a purple mohawk. Yeah, this guy does return after this twice. Actually, 3 times. He returns in Amazon Lily, he also shows up in Marineford, and finally, returns to Sabaody. Yeah, he returns 3 times after this. I don't remember this guy's name, but this guy was one freaking badass admiral. And unlike the other admirals in the series, this guy has no devil fruit powers. He's a vice admiral. Yeah, and something though, his next appearance is in Amazon Lily. Yeah, I don't remember this guy's name, but the guy is a freaking bad... Oh yeah, almost forget, he did show up one other time in a filler story. Yes, he showed up in Z's Ambition, which I think was his last appearance to date that I can think of. So yeah, it's actually 4 times he's returned after this. The other 3 Vice Admirals, who are actually 4, I think they show up again from Marineford, and that's it we see for these Vice Admirals. At least the Purple Mohawk Admiral... Yeah, I'm glad the fact he returned because he's a really cool character. Yep. Also, he's got a mustache as well. And look like he's got a ponytail attached to his mohawk. Yeah, but not much else to say about these episodes. They're fantastic, and I can't wait to discuss the final 9 episodes. But first, Quintessential Quintuplets, which that'll be my next video, but won't be up next because I want to put this video up plus the first 2 I did today. So that'll be up a little bit later, probably about an hour per se. Yeah, and that'll be up the first video for Quintessential Quintuplets along with the reviews for One Punch Man and Blue Exorcist. Okay, but see you next video. Bye.